Hello and welcome to another episode of How To with Paul Henderson. Today's video, I'll be showing you how to install some Galfer front brake pads, and I will be installing these on my 2007 GSX-R1000 Super Street Bike. Now yesterday I installed the pads on the left side, so today I'm going to install them on the right, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Now these brake pads are the Galfer standard semi-metal, part number FD325 G1054. Now the first thing that you're going to want to do when you start doing the brakes is you're going to want to remove the cap on the fluid reservoir, either siphon it out to maybe 1/8 of an inch from the bottom, or you can scoop it out with a measuring cup and then wipe out the inside the best you can. And then you're going to want to put some fluid back in there, maybe fill it 1/4 of the way, because what's going to happen is if your brakes are really worn, when you push the pistons back into the calipers, the fluid is going to raise up, and you don't want that to overflow. All right, let me go ahead and remove this cap from the reservoir. And just pull out you don't have to pull it out, but once you clean the inside of the reservoir, go ahead and put this back into it and just sit it on there and just sit the cap on top without tightening it down. So now that that is done, let's go ahead and start the install. So the first thing you're going to want to do, put on some gloves. Okay, almost. Okay, and now as for the tools you're going to need, a pair of channel locks to compress the pistons into the calipers, piece of cardboard to protect the caliper from channel locks. You'll need a small extension, a number 5 hex socket, a 12mm socket, a ratchet, a torque wrench, and either have some sort of siphoning device or a 1/4 cup measuring cup to remove some fluid out of the reservoir, and of course some .4 brake fluid, because you'll need this to top off the brake, what do you call that thing? Brake fluid reservoir. All right, so first thing, got to loosen these 2 pad pins, and that takes the number 5 socket. You just want to loosen them. You don't have to take them out yet. Don't have to take them out yet, I mean. And then you're going to go ahead and remove these 2 bolts. Now what you can do too is get some WD-40 and clean off the bolts and those pad pins. Now you should also have a brake caliper hanger, but I have steel line, so I'm just going to let it hang by the line. And then after you get those 2 bolts out, just wiggle off the caliper. You may hit the rim, but it's all right. There we go. Now here's the used brake pads. So now what you're going to do is you're going to remove those 2 pins for the pads, and then the pads will fall right out. Now here's the pads, and here are the new ones. So as you can see, these are pretty worn, and they are identical. Now what you're going to be doing, let's see, oh here it is. So on the used pad, it has this little metal piece right here. You need to take these off, and they're going to go on to the new pads. just like that. And then you're going to go ahead and compress these pistons flush with the caliper. And like I said, get a piece of cardboard. You're going to take your channel locks and you're going to put one brake pad back in there. Let's see if I can get this. Then you're going to take the channel locks. There we go. And then put the pad on the other side and do the same thing. It must be hitting the back. There we go. There we go. Nice and flush. This was getting hung up on the edges. So let's go ahead and push on that top one again. These channel locks suck. You actually need like a spreader. Be a lot easier. Okay. There we go. So now you're going to take the new pads. Remember that metal plate's going to go on the bottom against the caliper, against the pistons. Now what might be a good idea, take one of the brake pads, the old ones, put it right there. Make sure both the pads are all the way into the caliper. And then push in both the pins. And then go ahead and tighten them down. You can just do it snug. Okay. And now, just take this and just push it back onto over the disc. Put that back in place. You're going to take your two mounting bolts. And just sit them in there, and then you're going to go ahead and tighten them down. Now there is one other thing I want to tell you, is that when you have these off of the bike, especially when you have the pads out of them, do not press the brake lever. Because if you squeeze those pistons together, I don't know what you'll do, because you won't be able to get them apart. Okay, now these need to be adjusted to 28 foot-pounds. Let's see. Okay, there's 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. And now the pad pins, 11 pounds. I'm not going to do 11 pounds. I'm just going to tighten it to where I think it should be. There we go. So that's on there good. And now Okay, so what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to pull in the brake lever like several times to get fluid into the calipers, and then the pistons will push the pads against the rotors. And what you're going to want to do is to take off the cap on the fluid reservoir and have your fluid ready just in case you need it. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There you go. Like 7 times to do it. Now we go ahead and check the reservoir. Nope. I'll have to fill it when the handlebars are turned straight ahead. So I'm going to go ahead and put the cap on. Okay, so that's it. So like I said, these are 11 foot-pounds. This is 28. Just make sure that's all back up inside there. Now, the other side is identical to this side. So how I did this side is how you do the other side. And as you can see, that is pretty simple. I'm sure you noticed I did not bleed the brakes. I didn't need to. I do not have any fluid leaks down here, and I made sure when I was doing the work down here that there was enough fluid covering the bottom of the reservoir so no air was introduced into the system from either on top or from below. If you want to bleed your brakes, it's probably a good idea. I did replace that fluid a week ago, so it's nice and clean. Well, that's it. Well, I'll have to wrap up another how-to video with Paul Henderson, and this one was the installation of the Galfer brake pads on my 2007 Suzuki. And as you can see, replacing those pads is really simple, and it's the same on the left side. Now, and as for the rear one, you only have one caliper there, and it is just as easy as the front. I'm going to be taking my bike out for a ride tonight, and I'm looking forward to that. Now, and if you like this video, tap the like button, tap the subscribe button, that really helps out my channel, and the bell icon, and you get notifications as new videos come out. Well, that's it. There are no bloopers. I got this pretty much in 2 takes. Well, that's it. Have a great day, and may your bike stop on a dime. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.